8:15, you're watching Extra Shot right here on Facebook Live. We know that right now there is that shooting that happened in Orlando, Florida. We are just getting confirmation from the sheriff who's speaking at a press conference. And Dina, feel free to chime in because I know you've been tracking in social media. 5 people, 5 innocent victims dead this morning. The shooter also dead, so they're continuing to bring him by the numbers. Yep. Anything else you want to
so the Orange County Sheriff in Orlando did confirm that this was a former employee who worked at this place of business. Right. 45 years old. He was fired back in April, according to authorities, and then came back and opened fire on some of his former coworkers this morning. So just very difficult. This was only 9 miles from where the Pulse nightclub shooting was almost 1 year ago. So a lot of the law enforcement officials listening to early reports were saying it's like deja vu all over again, but this was not an act of terror according to authorities.
Right, at this time. And a 45-year-old shooter. They're saying 45-year-old male. So we will keep you updated. I know we have another Facebook Live going on right now. We're hot off Morning Blend, but we are going to dive in on some hot topics this morning. Ariana Grande and the Manchester benefit concert that she had last night. It went into nighttime. I mean, I watched it live, and it was called One Live Manchester, and it was a great event. I mean, it really was all about spreading love and giving the people who have been affected by the 22 people who died in that Manchester bombing after the Ariana Grande concert. People like Katy Perry, Justin Bieber, you had Coldplay, Black Eyed Peas. They all hit the stage, and I really thought it was an act of being brave to see someone like Ariana Grande hitting the stage in a place that something really bad could have happened yesterday, and that's the whole point of her wanting to get up and get out there and invite her friends, her pop stars out there to say, hey, you know what, fear cannot win in this situation. You should have seen the crowd, the people, the amount of people who were there yesterday, just incredible. The question this morning, because now Piers Morgan is coming out and changing his perspective on how he feels about the pop star. She's a young girl, and after the whole Manchester bombing, after her concert, he came out and said something along the lines of he just was unhappy with the fact that she left Manchester directly after that concert and went home, while all these people in Manchester, because of her concert, were having to face all of this in their hometown. So he, after yesterday's benefit concert, came out and said, oh, I respect you. And I'm trying to pull up the tweet now so we can see it. But I respect you. My perspective on you has changed. Good job to you. Something along those lines. We wanted to bring Walt Gray in because I want to know your perspective on did this change the way you feel about Ariana Grande? Did it remain the same? Or first, let's start with how you felt about Ariana Grande before this.
I think Piers was probably a little critical. I don't know that Ariana Grande is supposed to stay in Manchester, England. This wasn't anything that's on her at all. I think that she needs to take care of her thing. She has toured hospitals and she's done outreach.
She came back.
Yeah,
right.
you never know, how much of it is her or how much of it is her people saying, hey, we got to have you look good. You got to show up here. We got the photo op and all this kind of stuff. So you never know what's in a person's heart and all that. But I mean, I felt horrible for her that this randomly happened at her concert, and forever, when her bio is going to be, Aria, there's hits and this and that, and was during her concert. I mean, she's rubber stamped.
What does that say about her as a performer? Because what was your level of respect for her as a young pop star before this?
She's probably as hot as it gets right now. I can't think of anybody hotter. But, in terms of things prior to, I've always kind of looked at her as like a female Justin Bieber kind of thing.
Which means what?
Everything's kind of poppy. Your audience is, 14 to 16 years old. I'm not expecting much from you other than singing the hits.
Not much substance?
No, and I think she really took a huge PR hit back in July of 2015 when she had that donut licking incident where she licked donuts and said, I hate America, I hate Americans, and that's what went out. In
reference to obesity.
She later came back and said that that had to do with obesity, but at the time, you're surrounded by cameras. I don't know if anybody, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't know that I probably would have phrased that differently if that's what she meant. I could imagine it's like anybody who eats donuts this stuff is terrible for you, or people are too fat or something. I don't know that I would have come out and said, I hate Americans, I hate America, in reference to obesity.
Certainly not.
I think that she got barbecued for that, and I think that that's kind of, she's I don't know, I don't want to say the word naive or something like that, but
she's young.
Our kids watched all of her shows. I've seen a million of her shows, and I wonder if she's a real life Cat Valentine that she played on TV, or how much of that character really is her. It was a very vapid character of like whatever.
So did her benefit concert change your perspective on her?
I think that was a great move for her to do that. I think that was probably the only move you can do if something happened to do something like that. I think that was the right move, and I hope it came from her heart.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the PR spin is, where she's like, man, do I really have to do this? And her people are like, listen, here's the situation. You got nothing, you got everything to gain by doing this. I would assume it probably came from her heart.
Yeah,
I mean, she seemed, I mean, right after the bombing, she was just like, oh my gosh.
Imagine being there. I mean, her mom helped get the people, some of those people who were part of all of this and in the crowd, right? And I know
she helped them backstage. Yeah, she was in the front row when it happened.
Family effort.
Her mom took some of the concert goers, rushed them backstage.
It was a very real,
very real situation. And I pulled up the quote that Piers said. He said, "You have it too. I misjudged you, Ariana Grande, and I apologize. You are an admirable young woman, and this is a magnificent night. Respect. # One Love Manchester." And Piers is known for coming at people on on a regular basis,
yeah, which he did.
Yeah, which he did. So I'm not sure how often he retracts that. So
rarely.
So
I thought this was pretty big.
Everybody's thumbs up to Piers for doing that too.
Yeah.
So
and he specifically said you showed more guts, resilience, strength of character, and blitz spirit than every sniffling, pathetic ISIS coward put together. So he's sending a message to a lot of different people in that comment.
Well, because you're looking at people when they were in the stands yesterday, or they were all standing actually, and it was just so interesting to me to see how this moment, right, this few seconds of just peace and unity. You see people on shoulders, kids on and the fact that people brought young kids out to a concert to try to really instill them, to me that showed that these people of Manchester are trying to show the next generation you cannot be fearful of what could happen.
Let's not forget too, this happened the day after what happened in London too. So I mean, right
just
now
200 miles
we're seeing this is the third terror attack in the UK in 9 weeks.
Yeah.
And even the law enforcement community there was saying, don't go to this concert. There's a potential that we could have another terror act here.
Because what would have happened if something bad did happen?
Absolutely.
Go,
but I think that was almost the point, right? Yeah. I mean, to say we're not going to stop living our lives. So many of these young girls, Walt, as you can attest to, really look up to these musicians as mentors and idols. And so to have them come back into their community, maybe for that 1 3-hour period of their day, they got to be free of distractions from everything else going on.
There's no playbook for anybody.
Absolutely.
An entertainment person, there's no playbook with how do you deal with terrorist aggression at your concert.
Right.
I mean,
how do you respond?
You look in and you see, wow, they handled that extremely well. There wasn't anything that I think she did after the concert or anything that I would say, man, you didn't handle that well.
No, because if that was my daughter and I was that mom, I'd say, we're getting out of here.
No playbook. There's no playbook on how to do
Let me
that.
ask another question, though, because with the Piers Morgan tweet, not this one, but the first one kind of attacking Ariana, and then the level of expectation on what she should do, the things that she said in the past. Are we putting too much on Ariana Grande for the age that she actually is? And
she's
for the person
23.
She is?
It's not like she's 16.
24 even. Yeah,
but again, But would you put the same ownership and the same responsibilities and the same things on the shoulder of a 23-year-old that you would do on a 35-year-old? You wouldn't. So are we, not us like sitting up here, but everybody, are we putting too much or expecting Ariana to be a little older than she actually is just because she's a pop star?
Does it come with the territory?
Does it come with the territory? Because if that's the case, then again, are we expecting the same standard for our 23-year-old kids? Are we expecting that same standard for our 23-year-old nieces and nephews? You know what I mean? Just because she's a pop singer, are we expecting more for her just because of that?
I would think, if anything, she's probably a young 23, a child actress and moving up through the ranks and all that. So 23 maybe, but maybe in a lot of ways not that old.
Yeah.
But again, I didn't see anything that she did to me that I would be
I
like,
think
hey,
if
man,
anything, when I was watching the live feed yesterday, and so all of our Facebook viewers who were watching Facebook Live, they actually applauded it's down to the way she was dressed, because they know that young people are watching her every move and everything that's coming out of her mouth. The fact that she wore an oversized crew neck sweatshirt, baggy pants, some high-heeled boots.
She had some ripped jeans.
Her high pony, but nothing really too dramatic. She wasn't out there being like, oh, what? I'm here to like put on this. She didn't. She didn't seem oblivious. Yes, she seems nervous and scared. Yeah, because her life is on the line. Her life was on the line. Every step she took, I thought to myself, wow, she has a good group of people behind her. Because I think it would have been easier to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll send my love. I'll pay for all the funerals of the 22 victims. It would have been easy and would have been okay if she would have just done that. But she and her team rallied a group of people. Team, Scooter Braun behind her. We know he manages her. He manages Justin Bieber, who was also there, and a plethora of other people. But I just thought that yesterday was a good step forward for her, and to increase the fact that, you know, she is living, and just like all of us, a 23-year-old in a time where there is going to be much more to what you do than just the craft itself. Just the craft of singing and performing. Now with social media, everyone is looking to you for your opinion. What's your stance?
It's funny because you mentioned this about second guessing. And when you listen to ESPN and they're second guessing every sports player's play and move and trade and all this, and they go, let's go back through history. Let's look at Richard the Lionhearted and the moves he made, or Jesus Christ. And it's like, well, he did this, but it's like, what would those people be facing today with second guessing that today's entertainers and sports people are having to deal with? And it's funny to go back and to listen to people second guessing, you know, Attila the Hun and all this. It's like, Attila, you went in a little hard today on that group of people there, you know. So we live in such an interesting time where you can't do anything without somebody blowing you up on Instagram or something. And
you have to have some sort of opinion and some meat behind you. And I think it's important for these young stars moving on up that they surround themselves by teams who are educating them on what's going on in the world, because at some point you never know when you're going to have to come out and make a statement. You're going to have to step up on a stage in front of thousands, millions of people and eyes on you. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? And you have to know, we all know, we're in front of the camera every day. Every word that comes out of our mouth is being scrutinized, is being picked apart. And it comes with the territory. We all chose to be in this industry, so that comes with it. It's our responsibility to do our reading.
You've all made good points. Like, the only thing I would say before I exit here, because I've said too much, is the fact that her statement in 2015, I think, aggravated a lot of people. Again, if you don't like a donut or you think they're unhealthy, I would not have chosen. I hate Americans. I hate America. Bad move. And I think a lot of people made up their mind about her at that point, and whatever is going on with her here, they brought that with it. So that's the only beef I have, was that, not this.
Now, how much did, on another note, how much did the concert make? Do we know, do we have numbers?
Hearing, well, TMZ, the numbers are fluid, but TMZ is reporting $12 million that this benefit concert has raised.
Right, so initially there was Red Cross figures coming in, and you could see in the background of the concert, it was, you know, donate to the Red Cross, and you could do it by texting.
The bottom of the screen,
the sales of anything that was purchased at the concert went toward donations, and so we know that at least $2 million from just the initial numbers, and then TMZ just about an hour ago was reporting $12 million, and from Ariana at least $3 million. Our producer Bill is saying now. But Lance Cardoza, hi, thank you for being with us. Says you never know if the attack was meant for her, so her management made the right choice by getting her out of town. And you know, I think that it's really important to remember clearly the victims and you know what those families are going through. No one can compare their stories to that, but at the time there was so much unsaid and so much unknown that her leaving, I think she got so much flack for it. But
I didn't hear that at first, though. I didn't hear Ariana. There was a hashtag, not your fault.
Right.
Ariana Grande,
but that was a response
to
other
people saying,
why did you
leave? This happened at your concert. The least you could do was stick around. But I mean, if there's danger, if we heard something go down in here right now, I'm not running towards the danger. I'm leaving the building. I'm not going to stick around.
You got to set the example
as well.
I'm not
going to stick around to see. I'm out of here.
What if it was targeted her and she's staying locally at some hotel? Do you want to be the manager of that hotel, wondering if they're after her?
And again, there's no playbook.
There's no playbook for this kind of
stuff.
You
got to do as a human.
She probably really just wanted to be with her family.
I
mean, let's think about what we would want. Yes, her mom was there, but it's like everyone, you know, you have to understand too from the perspective. So thank you, Lance, for your comment.
Yeah.
Interesting, and it was interesting to see Katy Perry hit the stage right after Ariana's initial reaction and, you know, addressing the fact that she was there for this benefit concert. She seemed like, oh, just so nervous, and she literally like runs off the stage. Katy Perry comes on like, Big Mama, I've been around for a little longer than you, and she really stole the stage. But I didn't see it as like, oh my gosh, Ari looks so small and so little and so meek. It was just like she had her
different
people.
personalities.
She had her team behind her, and the Black Eyed Peas who've been around, and Where is the Love, and that whole movement they did after 9/11. They've reacted to something like this in the past. And I thought Justin Bieber also, you know, he's very into God, he's very spiritual, and he said what he needed to say in a couple words. So overall, I think it was obviously something very positive in a time that is so negative.
Plus a great show. I mean, even if you just wanted to go to the show, you look at the people in the show, it's like, wow, that's a good
people
show.
Came out.
Yeah, I'm going for the show too.
One love, Manchester.
Right.
Love. And I think I said one live. At the top of this, when I see the with her little, you know, she's branding, of course, during all
one
this
love,
live. One live, one live, one love.
Thanks, Walter.
We good?
Yeah.
We're good.
Listen,
money.
We'll
Thanks
see
for
you
your
later on.
perspective.
Go play
Good luck
some
with the rest.
Ari
Good luck
on
with the
your
rest of the
computer.
view.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
The view.